Hi everyone, welcome back to BU. I'm so happy that you are here. Let me just get comfortable. I'm recording from my parents-in-law's house. They're currently away, so my husband and I are house sitting, so I'm in a new place. But I was thinking about my home office, and I was thinking about, gosh, it'd be so nice to kind of decorate it and make it look really nice. And now, if you listen to this by Spotify, then you'll have no idea what I'm talking to. But if you watch this on YouTube, then you would have seen my office in the past. And so I need some ideas. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I'd really love to spruce it up and make it look nice and pretty. Anyways, that's just a side note. I'm so excited to have you join me again for another episode of BU Project. Um, Today I wanted to talk about what to do if you're stuck in a rut. Now, this is really something that means a lot to me, this topic, because I feel like more often I'm stuck in a rut than not, particularly in my mid-20s. I do recall that there was a period of time in my life where I just felt so stuck in this place. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. And so if you have, then know that you're not alone. Experience being stuck in a rut. And let me just fix my hair here. And being stuck in a rut is not fun because it feels like no matter what you do, you can't get out of being in a rut. And that's how I felt. So I felt like I was in this place where I couldn't get out of it. Yes, I was still going to work. Yes, I was still doing things, but internally, I felt like I was stuck in this massive rut, this massive hole. And to add to that, I felt like I didn't know who I was. I felt like I had lost my identity. And I felt like I didn't even know which way was up or which way to move forward or which decision to make or which road to take. And it was really hard to get out of that. And it wasn't until a couple of years later when I knew, so when I was working, I knew that there was more that I wanted to be doing in life. But it wasn't until I came across a coaching course and I dived right into it and I completed the course that I started to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And because of that, because I started to identify what my purpose was and I started to identify my why, it helped me to start making those steps to get out of the rut. And I can't guarantee that if you get out of the rut, you'll never get back into a rut because I think it happens multiple times throughout someone's life. It's definitely happened to me multiple times where I felt like I'm in a rut, particularly when life gets really busy or I get overwhelmed or I just get really exhausted. Then I feel like I'm back into that place of help. I don't know how to get out of here. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that yourself of being in a rut. But if you look at what it means to be in a rut, it's essentially doing the same thing for too long. So you're doing the same old thing over and over again. It's not creating the change that you want, and it's not progressing you forward. And if you look at the Cambridge rut definition, it says too fixed in one particular type of job, activity, and needing change. So when you're in a place of rut, you are desiring change, but you don't know how to get there. You don't know how to make the progress or what steps to take to see that change in your life. And so it can really mean for people to be stuck in a mundane, non-changing pattern of life, whether that's with work or whether that's personal, and you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and nothing is changing. So I want to just give some signs that you're stuck in a rut. And ladies, why I'm so passionate about talking about let's get you out of your rut is because you can't stay in your rut. It can't become the place where you now live. It's got to be a place where you find the steps to get out of there because there's so much in store for you in your life. And there's so much potential in your life that if you allow yourself to stay stuck in this rut, you're going to miss out on the beauty of living, of the beauty of being alive, and the beauty of understanding why you were created and what you were created for. So, this is why it's so important that we recognize if we are in a rut, and we allow ourselves to process all the emotions that comes with being in a rut. It could be disappointment, it could be discouragement, it could be fear, it could be feeling like you're a failure, it could be intimidation, it could be rejection, it could be shame, guilt, all of those things. And I strongly feel, and I've spoken about this before, so please listen to previous episodes. I've spoken about shame, I've spoken about um, how to find your purpose. I've spoken about those things. So please listen to those previous episodes because I believe that they will help you. But how to tell if you're stuck in a rut. And I can guarantee for some of you listening today, you're feeling this way. And maybe you've been feeling like this for a long time. And if that's you, hey, I just want to pause and say, please don't be hard on yourself. What's not helpful when we're stuck in this rut or place of not sure how to get out of it is making ourselves feel bad. You know, I think we can be our own worst enemies. I'm definitely mine. You know, those thoughts of condemnation or, gosh, you're such an idiot. How can you do this? Or, see, you're not good enough. Or, see, they're just validating that you're unworthy. That's not helpful when you're stuck in a rut. So, you might not be sure if you're stuck in a rut or not. So, let me just give you some signs that you could be. Okay. And I really want to help you today. So, please keep listening and we'll go through this together. All right. So, a couple of signs. One of the first thing is that you feel like you are in a negative loop. So, it's this cycle, keep going around and around and around. You feel like you're not excited about anything anymore, or you're not being challenged. This is a big one. You feel like you don't have the energy. You feel unhappy or unfulfilled. You've lost your excitement. And for some of you, you've lost your joy. You've lost your happiness. You've lost that thing that just fills your tank. You've lost it. You're staying in your comfort zone. This is a big one, to stay in your comfort zone. Now, I was listening to an episode by Brendan Burchard. He's great. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. He's saying that being in your comfort zone is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because that's where you are yourself, your most authentic self, you know, your skills and capabilities. However, it becomes bad when your comfort zone limits you from progressing forward, because we need challenges to progress ourselves forward. We need to be pushed. We need to step into new things to keep growing. We can't stay in the same thing over and over again. You might not feel like you're making any progress, or you might even feel like you take a step back, something happens, and then you take 10 steps back. I've been there. It's happened to me a lot. Or you're frustrated with where you're at in life. Like, you wake up and you're like, I can't believe I'm here, or I can't believe I'm not where I thought I would be at this age, or in my career, or in my family life, or whatever it looks like. And ladies, you make excuses all the time. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. Or I'll start next week. Or I can't do that because I don't have this. Or I can't do that because I don't know how. They're all excuses. And I'm going to be a bit of a tough coach today and give some tough love, because I know that in the moments where I have felt the lowest, or like I'm stuck in my rut, I've needed tough love to kind of wake me up out of this slumber that I was in. And I know that when someone gives me tough love and it comes from a place of authenticity and they absolutely genuinely love me, I know that's what I need in the moment. And so I want to do that for you today. I want to love on you, but also give you a bit of a tough love and a bit of a kick up the bum, because sometimes we need that. So in our lives as human beings, we're wired to avoid pain and to seek pleasure. So what's around us? What are we exposed to every day? It's do what you want to do. It's do things that make you happy, but like instantly. Like we want instant happiness. We want things right now. We want our food right now. We want our clothes right now that we've ordered online. We don't want to wait weeks and weeks anymore. We want it tomorrow. We want things like now. And we do things that bring us pleasure, right? When we know we've got to do things like eat healthy, but I don't want to eat healthy because I really want that chocolate, or I want that pizza, or whatever it is. We're actually wired to avoid pain and to seek pleasure. That's why it's so hard to do the things that we're meant to be doing. And one of the other things we need is certainty in our lives. Do you agree with that? I think I 100% agree with that. I love certainty. I love to know what's going to happen. I love to know if I make a decision, this is the next step. I love to know that someone loves me and has my back. I love to know that my job's secure. I love to know that I've got money in the bank, food on the table. All of it is certainty. We need that. And what happens is when we get stuck in a rut, it's hard to make a change because it might require stepping out into the unknown. It might require stepping into something that is a little uncertain. Getting out of a rut also involves effort. You have to make a choice. You have to put effort into getting out of a rut because it's not going to change on its own. And that's probably one of the things I really struggled with when I was in my rut, is it's so easy to stay in my emotions and to not make changes, because change requires uncertainty. Change requires effort. Change requires doing something that might cause pain. Change requires doing something that makes me uncomfortable and I don't want to do it. But in order to get out of our rut, we're going to have to make some type of effort. And I'll talk a little bit about how to get out of our rut a bit later. And another big thing as well is that people don't want to change because there's this natural fear of failure. So our lives are on social media, at work. We don't want to make a mistake, even bringing up a family or whatever we're doing, whether we're involved in church, whatever it is, we don't want to make mistakes. But we have to get better at allowing ourselves to make mistakes because it's the best way to learn and grow. It's the best way to move from A to B. Otherwise, we're just stuck in that same place of A. Do you want to be stuck in that same place of A for the rest of your life? I hope your answer is no, because I think if we stay stuck in that place of A and not go to B and not go to C, not go to D, not make our way down the alphabet, we're going to miss out on so many great things. And our life is a blessing, and God doesn't want us to miss out on all that He has in store for you and me. So we have to decide that we want to get out of this rut. It is a mindset shift that we need to make. A lot of women also, part of being in a rut, we settle for less than we deserve. We go, well, that thing I really wanted didn't happen, so I'm going to settle for this. Or I'm going to give up on my dreams. Or I'm going to settle for this relationship that I know is not good for me. Or I'm going to settle for this job because I'm too scared to go for that promotion or go for that job that I really want to do. Or I'm too scared to go back to school because it means that I might have to go to part-time. So we settle. We settle. And ladies, please stop settling in your life. Whatever you are settling in, please don't settle anymore, because you are worthy of everything you dream of. You are worthy of living a great life. You are worthy of love. And I think my internet might be playing up a little bit. I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay. This is the thing with technology, right? I'm recording this for YouTube as well as putting this on Spotify. And the thing is, with YouTube, with the internet, you just never know if it's going to be good or bad. So I'm hoping that most of this is good. So please don't settle. Don't settle, because you're worthy of the things that you dream and desire. Okay. So, how is this resonating with you? Are you feeling like, wow, yes, I am actually in a rut in my own life? Or have you always realized that you're in a rut, but you just haven't known what steps to take? Well, there's good news, and I want to share that good news with you because there is a way out. And I truly believe that I'm going to share 4 tips. I believe that this can really help you. And I'd love to hear your stories. I'm on Instagram. It's B_U project. Please reach out. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear how you've gotten out of a rut. And you never know who might be inspired by your story. And this is why stories are so important, because when we share our story, we never know who's gone through a similar situation and who might need your encouragement right there and then. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 tips. All right, so if you have a pen and paper, please write this down, or even on your phone. I want you to write this down, and I want you to take steps, because we can do this. We can get out of a rut. Now, it's not going to be easy. You know, we look at people who seem like they're thriving and successful, and we go, oh my goodness, they make it look so easy. No, if you want something in life, it is not going to be easy. I can guarantee you. What you desire is going to require commitment and hard work. And you have to be prepared to do hard work. That's how people become successful, through hard work, through commitment, through getting up when they are on the ground, through making the decision to keep going anyway, even when it feels like nothing's happening. You've got to be committed to that. And yes, include in that commitment time for rest and self care and all those things. But if you want to see change, it requires you to do something about it. So, 4 tips. Okay, 4 tips. Please write them down. So, the first one is you need to take responsibility for your life. And part of that is stop blaming other people. Okay. So often we can go, well, if so and so didn't do that, then I wouldn't be here. Or if so and so didn't break up with me. Or if I didn't get fired from my job. Or if my family brought me up better. Whatever it is that we're putting blame on other people, we need to stop. Now, it doesn't mean that that's not the case. It doesn't mean that your family situation created a dysfunctional home for you. It doesn't mean that that's not the case, but we are responsible for our own lives. We are responsible for the decisions we make. We are responsible for how we spend our time, who we hang around with, what we say yes to, what we say no to. And I think I just want to reflect on that for a little bit, because I feel like there's women listening who have felt powerless. You have felt powerless for so long. You have felt like that ability to make decisions hasn't been in your hands. And I just want to remind you today that it is. That power that you think you haven't had, you have. And so we need to take responsibility for our own lives, which means if you are not getting enough sleep, please rejig your schedule so that you can get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. It is so important to get sleep. It is so important for your body. It is so important for longevity. It is so important for your mental health as well, and even your physical health. And as a woman, we need to get rest. So if you need to lose weight, then you need to start taking responsibility for what you put in your mouth, the food you eat, okay, the dinners you cook, the lunches you make or buy, the breakfasts you have or don't have. You are responsible for what you put in your mouth every day. If you need to save money, you're responsible for your finances. Okay, maybe you don't make a lot of money, and if there's something you can change there by getting a job that pays more, go for it. But take an inventory on your finances and take a look and have a look at what possibly you can cut out or cut down. Jake and I have had to do that recently. You know, we're like, wow, why are we spending so much money on groceries? Like, that's what we feel like all our money goes towards, groceries and food. So we're starting to look at that. We're starting to go, okay, what are the areas that we can cut down? And where could we potentially find some savings? Because we are responsible for how we spend our money. So that's number one, take responsibility for your life and stop blaming others. Yes, people let us down all the time. They're human. We let people down all the time. But the thing is that we can't allow what other people do to stop us from progressing forward. It's really important to recognize. Maybe you even need to forgive some other people as well for letting you down. But don't let what others do or don't do stop you from moving forward and getting out of your rut. Number 2, what is the story you are telling yourself? This is so important, your mindset. How is your mindset? You might need to do a check. Are you allowing limiting beliefs into your mind? How do you talk to yourself? How do you view yourself? How do you perceive others to view you? What is the story you are telling yourself? And if it's a negative story, if you keep saying to yourself, oh, I'll never get out of this rut, or nothing's ever going to change, there's no way that you can get there. Oh, I'm not that person. Oh, I'm not successful like that person, or I don't have the looks, or I don't have the smarts like that person. No, 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 no. What is the story you are telling yourself? And ladies, if that story is negative and if that story is limiting you from moving forward, then I'm going to ask you to rewrite your story. And I want you to list out what it is you're telling yourself. And this is going to be a bit of an exercise. So I want you to write it down. And sometimes we don't even realize what we're telling ourselves. So I want you to write it down, list everything, capture all of those negative thoughts. Even if you capture it on your phone, write it down. Write the things that you tell yourself, write the things that you think about yourself. And then next to it, in a different column, I want you to write the opposite of that, whether you find scriptures or affirmation or even just a word. I believe scriptures and are really helpful, but whatever you're telling yourself that is negative, I want you to replace it with the opposite. So something positive. And I want you to put that paper with the positives somewhere where you can remind yourself every single day so that you begin to change your narrative, change your story. That's number 2. Number 3, create healthy habits. So this kind of tags in with point 1, but creating healthy habits. So if you recall, if we go back, one of the signs of being stuck in a rut is we don't have energy. So if I'm stuck in a rut, and in my 20s, my mid-20s I was, so about 10 years ago now, I would always feel tired. I would always feel really down. I'd always feel like I couldn't do anything about it. Now, what's important is that I need to start creating an environment where I can make change. So again, it goes back to, am I getting enough sleep? Am I drinking enough water? Am I eating the right foods? Am I creating a healthy mindset? Who am I hanging around? This is so important. Who are the people that are influencing my life? Am I allowing toxic and negative people to influence me? Or am I surrounding myself with people that bring life, that speak words of life into my world? And also your social media habits. What do they look like? Are they positive or negative? There is nothing wrong with being on social media, but when it becomes consuming, when you're on it all the time, when you're using it to compare yourself, when you're using it to condemn yourself and put yourself down, that's not helpful or healthy. So what are the healthy habits that you need to create? Maybe even start going for a walk. Maybe it's changing one meal, incorporating more veggies into one of your meals, replacing some of what you snack on with something that is a healthy alternative. So I want you to also pause, and you can pause this video or this podcast, and I want you to start writing down what your habits actually are. Maybe it's time to have a look at your habits, because a habit is something we do that's ingrained in us. And so sometimes we don't even realize we're doing something because it's a habit. So I want you to have a look at your life, look at your habits, and start to make changes with those habits and make small changes. Maybe tomorrow you'll wake up and you'll decide that you're going to start with a glass of water, or your habit is you're going to exercise in the morning. Whatever it is, if you can start to create healthy habits, it will start to create, and excuse me, I need a cough. Thanks. It will start to create an environment for change. Your environment really dictates how you're going to move through your life. If your environment is negative, it's going to be really hard to make changes. But once you start creating a positive environment, a healthy environment, it will allow you to make the changes that you need to. All right, are you ready for number 4? Number 4, challenge yourself and get support. Now, being stuck in a rut, it's really easy to make excuses. It's really easy to stay in the comfort and in our comfort zones, staying in the place where we feel absolutely comfortable. But in order to get out of that rut, sometimes we just need to challenge ourselves. So if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, what is one thing you can do to challenge yourself? Is it, I'm going to challenge myself to walk every day for the next month. Or I'm going to challenge myself to only eat takeout once a week, not 5 times a week. Or I'm going to challenge myself to put $20 aside every week for the next 6 months. Or I'm going to challenge myself because I have this idea that I want to pursue, and I'm actually going to research and find out more about it. I'm going to talk to people about it. Whatever that is, challenge yourself and then get support. So find people that can support you, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a friend, whether it's finding a mentor, whether it's finding a coach. Find someone who can keep you accountable, but also that can be your cheerleader and can champion you as you make these changes. The other thing about being stuck in a rut is that we isolate ourselves, and we kind of get into this place where we perhaps push people away, or we distance ourselves from people. As you want to get out of your rut, if you are serious about getting out of your rut, and excuse me, I have to cough again, too much talking. If you're serious about getting out of your rut, then maybe the challenge for you is to find someone or some people to help support you. You can shape that in any way you like, but once you have someone who knows that you want to make a change, then that's going to help you because you have someone on your side. We're not meant to do life alone. We're not meant to go through challenges alone. I truly believe that we're here for each other. And when we start acting like we're here for each other, then it becomes easier to make changes, to challenge ourselves, to slowly climb up that wall and get out of our rut. And so they're the 4 tips. Take responsibility for your life and stop blaming others. What is the story that you are telling yourself? So really make sure that you are identifying the beliefs that are limiting you. 3, create healthy habits. 4, challenge yourself and get support. This will probably take time. It won't happen overnight. But if you started to incorporate these 4 tips, I believe that you'll start to see change in your life. And the biggest thing is to keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. You never know when you are on the brink of a breakthrough or the brink of a miracle. And I truly believe that God can give you the strength you need to keep going. And I also want to just remind you that you're not alone, that this life that you're living, you're not alone. There are people that love you. And again, if you want to reach out and have a chat, my Instagram is b_u project, or my email address is coaching@buproject.com.au. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a chat with you and maybe even help you further to get out of your rut. So what are you going to do today? Now that you've listened to this or watched this, what is one thing that you're going to start doing to help you get out of your rut? Because it is very possible to get out of your rut. And ladies, You might listen to this and go, yep, 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 and walk away and do nothing. Please don't do that. Please don't walk away and do nothing. Do something, even if it's small. And I promise you that if you start to make some changes, you will slowly start to get out of your rut. You won't feel like you're in that negative loop anymore. You'll start to get energy back. You'll start to find things you enjoy. And what a great life that is when we're not just surviving, but we're thriving. All right, that's it from me today. I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Bye.